Greetings! Today I'm going to be reviewing the Konica C35 camera. This is a small compact camera that was introduced in 1975 in Japan, and it was dubbed the Picardi in Japan, and that's because it was the first compact camera to have a built-in flash. Picardi is an onomatopoeia that in Japanese refers to flashing or any sort of bright light. Bam. There you have it. So, in a nutshell, this camera has a lot of really good things going for it. First, most importantly, the photos that it takes are very sharp, but still have a lot of flavor to them. So, compared to other rangefinder or viewfinder cameras, you get a good balance between having a nice, sharp, interesting photo and also still having the interesting vintage look that you want to go for if you're doing lomography. This camera has only two shutter speeds, 1/60th of a second and 125th of a second. Now, one thing that I was still trying to figure out is setting those shutter speeds. I'm imagining that these are both automatic, and basically depending on the amount of light that the light sensor is detecting, that the camera automatically will set the shutter speed for that scenario. Now, this camera is really cool because it's compact, it has a built-in flash, and it takes standard AA batteries. Now, compared to a lot of other older cameras out there, like Yashica and stuff like that, you don't need to get any weird adapters or anything to get it to work in the present 2014. It'll work with stuff that you can find at almost any camera shop nowadays, AA batteries and standard film. So, ISO settings, you have ISO from 25, it's hard to see, 25 to 400. So most of the time I'm using 400, so let's just leave it at that. This button right here will release the flash. So very nice and easy to use, so the flash gets out of your way when you're not using it. The back right here opens up, and of course, just like any other camera, you have your film advance right there. You can get a look at how this shutter movement looks right here. Boom. One of the interesting things is on the inside of here you have an advertisement for Sakura Film, which is a company that I had never heard of before I moved to Japan. So apparently they used to be a camera company or a film company in Japan, because I've never seen them outside of the inside of this camera. Even though I live in Japan, I've never seen anything besides that before, so that was interesting. So this is a Konica Hexanon 38mm with an f-stop of 2.8, as you can see right here. Like I was saying, the shutter speed is one of the only things I would say is like a kind of a downside to this, but like, you know, with lomography or any type of photography of this nature, getting a really crisp photo is not exactly the prerogative of having a camera like this, so I wouldn't imagine that's a huge deal. So there's your shutter. It kind of has a cheap sound to it, but most of these rangefinders or viewfinders do. You have your film release and standard threading, which will work with any camera stand that you're going to be buying presently, and your film release right here on the bottom for when you're done. Then your rewind right at the top, and you have your what's the word I'm looking for? The camera. Well, anyways, you can wrap it around your neck. I've been out of America for too long. Okay, so other things about this camera, just like any other rangefinder or viewfinder camera, you're not looking through the actual lens, you're looking through this guy right here, and you're using this system to choose how you're going to focus. So you have 1 meter, 1.5 meter, then it says 2, 3, or 5 meters, so in that general area, and then you jump all the way up to infinity. So if you want to do stuff like landscapes, it also has it listed in feet, because I'm sure they realize that they'd be selling this to America as well. And it also, just like very many other cameras like the Trip 35 from Olympus, you have 1 guy, 2 guys, family, and then some mountains off in the distance. So it makes it very easy to understand. Let's review the camera in terms of what do I think about it. I really like this camera. I like it better than the Trip 35, and I'm a big Trip 35 fan. But I would say the only real downside to this version, the Konica C35 EF, is that there's no hot shoe. So of course there is a built-in flash, but of course you can get better flashes, and you can't use it with this camera, unfortunately. You're gonna have to stick with the built-in flash. So for stuff like an indoor party and stuff like that, this flash is fine. However, with using a bigger flash, you have the ability to angle it and photos, and that'll call it a day. Have a good one.